All right, good morning. I'm going to try it again. Good morning. All right, on this side, good morning. All right, better. This is one of my favorite Sundays. You guys know First Sundays, the youth are down here. Since we started having Sunday services, I don't get to see your beautiful faces as much. So I'm happy to be down here today, and the youth are happy to be in the service with you guys. It's also one of my favorite Sundays because most First Sundays will cause on me to do the welcome, and in my exciting life, there's always something to talk to you guys about. And two things today. I'm here representing the ACC champion Clemson Tigers. Don't clap. You're gonna jinx it. Don't clap. Georgia fans, you guys can cheer for us if you want to. I have on a Clemson shirt. I won't unzip it because it might blind you guys. But you can cheer for us the rest of the year. Thank you, Brandon. You always have my back. Also, as some of you know, my wife is expecting. 12 weeks tomorrow. And, one of the things I thought about during this whole process is that, Eagles Way, when I first started coming here, when I first came on staff here, everybody talked to me about how this was such a family church, family church. There's this family and that family, and you got to keep up with this family, that family. And it's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. And then, the people from this family started marrying people from this family, and it's just awkward, man. I have a little manual that I keep in my pocket and just keep track of everybody. But it really is a family church, and I really got a chance to experience that about a week ago. Sheena and I were hanging out and with to visit Miss Barbara and Buren, and we were just sitting there talking, and she was just so excited. I think she's more excited than my mom and Sheena about the baby. She said, "We're gonna have a little one. I just love the little ones. They're so small, and can we babysit sometimes?" I said, "Sure." I said, as much as we're around the baby's probably gonna call you Nan. And she said, "Can we be grandparents?" And I looked at Sheena. I said, "Sure. Sure you can be grandparents." And I don't know if you guys remember this old littering commercial where the guy throws something on the ground and the Native American has one little tear drop down. I don't know if this happened or not, but when we said yes, I heard a Native American flute start playing in the kitchen, and that one little tear just dropped down Miss Barbara's eye. She said, "We would love to be grandparents." And that was just a testimony to just the love of this church and the family atmosphere that is here. And, when I came in, we had to learn everybody. And it wasn't long, but we had to learn to feel that love and family atmosphere because it wasn't something that we were used to. And I'm grateful that my child will only know the love of Eagles Way Church. They won't have to know anything other than the love of this church. And I can't think of a better place, a happier place, a more God-centered place to raise a child than right here at Eagles Way Church. And if you're used to coming here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if it's your first time visiting, welcome to Eagles Way Church, the family church. God bless you guys, and enjoy this praise and worship.
Let's stand and worship. Good news of great joy for every woman, every man. This will be a sign to you, a baby born in Bethlehem. Oh, come and worship, do not be afraid. A company of angels, glory in the highest, and on the earth peace among those who worship. Do not be afraid. My soul magnifies the Lord. My soul magnifies the Lord. He has done great things for me, great things for me. My soul magnifies the Lord. My soul magnifies the Lord. He has done great things for me, great things for me. Of His government there will be no end. He'll establish it with His righteousness, and He shall reign on David's throne, and His name shall be from this day on wonderful. Counselor, everlasting Father, wonderful Counselor, and His name shall be everlasting Father. My soul magnifies the Lord. Sing it, church. My soul magnifies the Lord. He's done great things. My soul magnifies the Lord. He's done great things. Thank you, Lord. Magnifies the Lord. My soul 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 magnifies the Lord. He has done great things for me, great things for me. My soul magnifies the Lord. My soul magnifies the Lord. 'Cause He has done great things for me, great things for me.
Amen. And this next song we're about to sing, Won't Relent, I just want to speak to your heart. And it talks about how He is relentless to have all of us, to have all our hearts. And because He loves us that much. And, you know, I just want you to know, if you're here this morning and you're saying, well, I don't know that He's done great things for me, or I don't feel His love for me. I'm supposed to, but I'm just not right now, or, you know, I'm not walking in that or receiving that. During this song, as we were worshiping, I really want you to focus on how relentless He is for you, how He chases after you, how He wants to write His name on your heart. He wants you to put that seal, that let Him own you, so to speak, with that seal on your arm, that seal on your heart. And because He loves you that much, and He's not going to stop. He is relentless, and He's going to have all your heart. and it's the moment that you surrender, that you say, have it. I don't want it. I don't want to hold back any little corner or area of my heart. When you give that and you allow Him to chase after you, that's just good stuff. And that's where is where He's going to move and show up, and His glory in your life is going to be like nothing you've ever seen. So as we're singing this, allow Him to pursue you. Open your heart to Him. Give it to Him and allow Him to rule and reign and just to love you. Okay? Amen.
You won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours. You won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours. I'll set you as a seal upon my heart, as a seal upon my heart. For there is love that is as strong as death, jealousy demanding as the grave, and many waters cannot quench this love. Won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours. Won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours. Set you as a seal upon my heart, as a seal upon my heart. For there is love that is as strong as death, jealousy demanding as the grave, and many waters cannot quench this love. Won't relent until you have it all. Waters cannot quench His love. Won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours. Come breathe a fire inside of me. Come breathe a flame upon my heart. Come breathe a fire inside of me, until you and I are one. Come breathe a fire inside of me. Come breathe a flame upon my heart. Come breathe a fire inside of me, until you and I are won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours. Won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours. Won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours. Won't relent until you have it all. My heart is yours.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, God, that Father, my heart belongs to you. My heart cries out for you. You know, Paul said that I count everything, I consider everything worthless compared to the infinite value of knowing Christ. He said, for his sake, all these things, all the stuff that we deal with throughout the day, all these things that cloud our heads, all these things, our lack, our plenty, our joys, our sorrows, I count the material things, everything, as discarded, as just garbage, so that I may gain you, so that we may gain him. Father, I thank you, Lord God, that nothing compares to knowing you. And because of that, God, we give you every bit of our worship, every bit of our gratitude, every bit of our thankfulness. We give you our whole heart, everything, God, that you just strip down, everything, Lord, that's not of you, that it's less of me and that it's more of you. And that we can say that nothing compares to the infinite value of knowing you and of gaining you, God.
I stand before you, awed by your majesty. Covered
Let your spirit overwhelm me. Let your presence overtake my heart. I want to know you. Let your spirit overwhelm me. Let your presence overtake my heart. I want to know you. Let your spirit overwhelm me. Let your presence overtake my heart. I want to know you. Let your spirit overwhelm me. Let your presence overtake my heart. Sing. I want to know you. Let your spirit overwhelm me. Let your presence overtake my heart. Let it overtake us, God. I want to know you. Let your spirit overwhelm me. Let your presence overtake my heart. We want to know you, God. I want to know you. Let your spirit overwhelm me. Let your presence overtake my heart. I want to know you. Let your spirit overwhelm me. Let your presence overtake my heart. Thank you, Father God. Nothing compares to the value of knowing you, God. Nothing compares to the richness of your goodness, the depths of your mercy, the expanse, Lord, the mass of your love. Nothing compares to knowing you, Father. Nothing compares, Father, to walking in your presence, to being overwhelmed by your Spirit, God. We love you, Lord. Oh, how we love you, God. How our heart cries out for you, Lord. We love you. We love you. We thank you.
You know, if you were here Wednesday night, we talked about different seasons in our lives, and I kind of got a little emotional over here, sitting just thinking of the seasons in my life. And I grew up in church, and you know, things happened, different seasons happened, and I ran away from God. And the great thing is, He never left me. He was always there. And I learned this song yesterday. I haven't really heard it, but it says how God fills our lungs with air. How thankful I am for that. How thankful we all can be just to get up and breathe. That God has our back and He loves us so much. And just seeking Him now and just knowing where I've been and just following my heart and know that God has always been there in the depths, the worst places in the world that I've been. He was there with me. And you know what? I knew then He was. I just didn't want to admit it. But I'm so thankful this morning for just being alive, for having families and people that love you. And this song is it's amazing. I hope I can get through it now after that. But just worship Him with all you have in this song, all you've got.
You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. in our lungs. So we pour out our praise to you only. You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only, Lord. Yes, we pour out our praise, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you,
How many are glad already you came? Whew. These guys are going to hang with me for just a little bit and going to help me in a moment. We're going to talk to you about Thanksgiving. I was, time has really changed. We got a Puerto Rican putting the podium out. We got white people becoming nannies. I mean, it's just something, isn't it? Aren't you glad you're part of God's plan? Huh? We're going to talk about Thanksgiving today. This is a post-Thanksgiving message. We're going to close out this year with praise. We're going to close out this year with thanksgiving. In Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7, it says these words, that we do need to be thankful. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ. You know, there's 4 ways to give thanks. One is just thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a public acknowledgement or celebration of divine goodness. It's the act of giving thanks. I want you to hear that again, though. It's the public acknowledgement of celebration of divine goodness. Gratitude is a state of being. It's appreciative of benefits received in pleasure and contentment. Appreciation, and I love this one, appreciation is sensitive awareness, giving value to. You appreciate it, you give value to it. Praise is to express favorable thanks to glorify God. What I want to talk to you about this morning is 4 stages of thanksgiving, or 4 levels of thanksgiving, or we could call it graduating in gratitude. We could call it 4 steps of maturity to be thankful. But how many know you got a lot of things to be thankful for this morning? How many's got anything to be thankful for? Aren't you thankful they brought you through another week? Aren't you thankful for your family? Aren't you just thankful for what God has done? You know, the first thing we do, one of the first words we teach our kids is what? How to say thank you. Say thank you. We want them to say thank you. Dale Nyman's a member here, and she works in our children's department a lot. And she did a post this week, and I just want to read an excerpt from her post. And she said, I was raised, I didn't just grow up. I was taught to speak when I entered a room. Say please and thank you. Respect for my elders. Say yes, sir, no, sir, etc. I mean, remember those days. When Dusty she first moved to Oklahoma and had John Henry in school, she was with one of his teachers, and John Henry kept saying yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. And the teacher looked at John Henry and said, you don't have to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am to me. You don't have to do that here. And Dusty said, oh, yes, he does. We're from the South, and we say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Yes, sir, and no, sir. Right? You know, people say, we need prayer back in schools. Yeah, but we need respect and honor back in schools. You can get all the prayer back in school you want to, as long as you're still sending a bunch of hellions there. It ain't going to make any difference. It's not going to make any difference if you don't have some kids going in there saying yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, yes, sir, and no, sir, and showing respect and honor and being grateful and thankful. Don't shout me down because I'm preaching good. We need to do that. When Mike Oliver left years ago, and Will was going to take his place, I don't know if Will remembers this conversation with Mike or not, but he went up to Mike and he said to Mike, now you're probably the closest person to Buren outside of his family, and said, is there something I need to know about him that would just help me to serve him in a better way? Oh, Mike said, oh yeah, it's easy. You better be thankful. Just show him thanks. Be grateful and thankful, because the only thing that upsets Buren Gauls is people who aren't grateful and thankful. Can you say amen? Ralph Martin, years ago, I kept doing something for him over and over again. He kept saying thank you over and over again. And I told him, I said, Ralph, you don't have to say thank you anymore. He says, oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do need to say thank you. Because, we don't need to act like we deserve what we get. See, a lot of people just want an attitude of thanksgiving, but sometimes the attitude doesn't become the practice, right? We need to practice gratitude, practice thanks. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye land. Come before the Lord with singing. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Be thankful unto Him and bless His name, for the Lord is good, and His mercy endureth unto all generations. We didn't make ourselves. He made us. We're not the shepherd. We are the sheep. And He provides for us. He leads us beside the still waters. He restores our soul. So how many's got anything here to be thankful for? Have you got something really to be thankful for? Are you really thankful for? Now, that's the first stage. That's a great stage. This is the jet tackle stage. And this is the thankful for. You know, Jet, he's thankful for what he gets, but let me tell you something. You're going to have to come right back and do something for him. And he'll still be thankful. The boy's smart. He's gotten really smart with Gaga. He knows how to say thank you. But I say, Jet, do you want to go to the grocery store with Gaga? No. I'll buy you a prize. Let's go. And he gets the prize. Thank you. But you know, y'all fixing to see Christmas, and they're going to be tearing into those gifts, and they're going to say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the next thing they'll do will be playing in the box. And then you're going to have to start all back over. But it's okay. It's okay to be thankful for something. Stand up with me and let's sing this song one more time, that we are to be thankful for some things. Are you ready? You thankful for some things? Come on, not just three of you. Are you really thankful for what God's done for you? Then sing this song like you really mean it.
News of great joy for every woman everywhere.
y'all can go. Don't go far because it's going to be back up here real soon. We got so much to be thankful for. So much to be thankful for. I'm just so thankful for. A lot of things. You know, if you just started naming the things to be thankful for, you'd be thankful for a whole lot of things. A whole lot of things. And I'm glad for that. I'm glad for the baby stage of Thanksgiving. And I'm not calling you babies, but I mean, it's okay if you be called a baby. I like you call me baby. But it's a baby stage. And it's okay. How many love the baby stage? How many love the birth to about 4-year-old stage? It's the baby stage. And boy, to hear them say, thank you. Thank you for what you've done for me. How do you think God does when he would just say, thank you for? Thank you for. But the next stage is what I'm going to call thankful through. Thankful through some things. It's what I'm going to call the even though stage of Thanksgiving. It's even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. I'm thankful through that stage. The even though stage. How many's ever been through anything? And how many ever been through something and you wondered whether or not you was going to come out on the other end okay? But you know what? If you will go through this even though stage of Habakkuk said it like this. Habakkuk said, even though the fig trees have no blossoms and there are no grapes on the vines, and even though the olive crop fails and the fields lie empty and barren, and even though the flocks die in the fields and the cattle barns are empty, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in the God of my salvation. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, able to tread on the heights. I believe God really loves this even though thankfulness people. I believe he just gets really excited. You know, it's like jet stage is I'm thankful for. Middle school is kind of getting into you're thankful through some things. It's the stage that, you know, Jet doesn't ever come home from school and go, Mama, we need to sit and talk through some things. I'm going through some things I just need your help on. Jet, he don't have no things. He don't have any problems. He doesn't have any. He's just thankful for everything. He's just thankful for everything. And he's not going through anything yet. He ain't got no haters. Everybody loves Jet. He ain't got no haters. But then you get in that middle school and you start going through how many remember you start going through some things? Remember that? I was going to tell you, and Daddy, I think he kind of gave up on me in about 6th grade. School-wise. I think Daddy, 6th grade, he just says he's going to be dumb. But he's going to be a good dumb boy. He's going to be a grateful, thankful dumb boy. Because he told me, you can be grateful and thankful. I can make an F in math, but I better get an A+ in manners. I better get an A+ in how I acted and how I said thank you for things. But sometimes we go through some things, and it's when you're going through the things that I believe God really gets excited when even though you're going through some things, you're still worshiping Him. Even though you don't feel like getting up, you still get up and come on to church. Even though you feel like if you give, you're not going to have enough to pay your light bill, you give anyway. Even though some things are happening in your life that you don't know whether or not you're going to come out on the other side or when you're going to come out on the other side, but you got something inside you that tells you that you're grateful and you're thankful because because you know that He is with you, and you know that you're really going to overcome. You really, really know deep down inside you're coming through this thing. You're coming through it, because all things are working together for good to them that love God and called according to His purpose. I'm thankful for what He's done, but I'm thankful through too. I'm thankful that I can go through anything. I'm thankful that I can go through anything in life because of Him. Because what He's done for me before, He's going to do for me now and will do for me again. How many are thankful through some things? Anybody going through anything? You know, you're going through something, but you're thankful, aren't you? You're thankful. You know, why should you be thankful when you're going through something? Because you're not going through it alone. That in itself is enough to be thankful, because you're not going through this thing alone. As I said the other week, the most alone you can be is you and 3 other people. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and you. That's all alone you can get. Jesus said, it's needful that I go, because if I go, then all of us are going to come back. And we're going to take up our abode in you. We're going to live in you. Wow. Now, I want to talk about the most difficult stage of Thanksgiving. Took an Alka-Seltzer Plus this morning. Got a dry mouth, so I'm having to drink a lot of water. But I'm thankful for. I'm thankful through. I'm thankful for water. I'm thankful in. Let me tell you why this is the most difficult stage to be thankful. It's the stage when you get to that you got it. It's the stage of Deuteronomy chapter 8, beginning at verse 6. So obey the command of the Lord your God by walking in His ways and fearing Him. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land of flowing streams, pools of water, fountains and springs that gush out in the valleys and the hills. It's a land of wheat and barley and grapevines. It's when wheat grew the right way. And you could take the big bread and just smooth butter all over it. I mean, you just the good wheat stage. I mean, look at all this good stuff. Fig trees, pomegranates, olive oil, honey oat cereal. It's a land where food is plentiful and nothing is lacking. It's a land where iron is as common as stone and copper is as abundant in the hills. When you have eaten your fill, be sure to praise the Lord your God for the good land He has given you. Now listen to this. But that is the time to be careful. That is the time to beware that in your plenty you do not forget the Lord your God and disobey His commands and regulations and decrees that I'm giving you. For when you have become full and prosperous and have built fine homes to live in, and when your flocks and your herds have become very large, and your silver and your gold have multiplied along with everything else, be careful. Wow. Be careful. That's the most difficult stage. You see, it's easy to be thankful for things. It's easy even to be thankful through things, because you know, for every one person who can handle prosperity, 10 can handle adversity. More people can handle adversity than they can prosperity. Prosperity's killed more people than adversity has. Adversity's made them stronger. Adversity's made them more thankful. But when we get there, I want to call this I'm going to use the term teenage stage, but I don't like teenage. word there. It's young adult stage. We coined the word teenagers. They're young adults. It's the baby stage when, thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Thank you for what you've done for me. It's the middle school stage when you get thankful that I'm getting through. Thankful that I'm getting through. But it's in stage of being thankful when you are in it. In it. It's the young adult stage. Anybody remember that? Some of you are experiencing that stage with one of those. They got clothes on their back. They got food on the table. You buy them an automobile. You pay their way to college. You save for them. And all of a sudden, they forget who raised them. I saw a post, and it said, don't laugh at me, it's an adult, don't laugh at me when I'm asking you about the computer and you laugh because I don't have the computer skills that you have. I taught you to tie your shoe. You couldn't even tie a shoe. You couldn't even tie a shoe. You couldn't even walk. You couldn't even change your own messy diaper. Don't laugh at me. They forget. They forget who brought them all these things. They forget who brought them through some things. Oh, yeah. They forget. I forgot. Because it's that stage, I know everything. I know everything. And it's that independent stage when you feel like you've almost to that place of freedom. Oh, if they only knew. Oh, if they only knew what freedom is costly. Oh, if they only knew what freedom is when you get to go and pay your own bills. Oh, what freedom when it's your light bill you're paying. Oh, what freedom it is. Oh, what freedom. Oh, what freedom to go buy. Oh, you have to buy groceries? They don't just show up? You really have to purchase them? Really? It's that, I just forgot. I've kind of had this all along my life, and all these years I've been provided for it. I'm just forgot. Wow, there was a cost and a price that brought me here. It's a difficult place to give thanks. I've seen more believers fall off the wagon at this stage than any stage in life. That they're thankful in it. We had a guy walked in our church on High Falls Road, my university I graduated from, and he walked in, death warmed over, dying of leukemia. He came down to the altar, we prayed for him, and God healed him instantly of leukemia. He was death warmed over. And a couple of years later, he was real upset because they was cutting off his disability. He was cutting off his disability, and he was upset because he wasn't going to be getting disability. I couldn't help it. I had to speak up. I said, okay, had you rather have the leukemia or the disability? And I'd be dog if he didn't hesitate. I'd be dog if he didn't have to hesitate for a moment and think about that question. I remember my dad, this man in his church came up to him and he said, Preacher Goss, because he called him preachers back then. Preacher Goss, I'm not going to be able to tithe like I was tithing anymore. God's blessed me so much. I'm making so much money. It's just too much to give 10% of that. That was his exact words. And Daddy, being the old cornbread theology man he was, said, well, let's just pray. He grabbed Daddy's big old hands, and Daddy said, Father, God, creator of heaven and earth, decrease this man's salary. Put him back down a few notches where he can give back to you now. Oh, whoa, don't pray that, Preacher Goss. Don't pray. What do you want me to pray? You say, that's silly. It is silly. That is so true, though. You would be surprised how truthful that is. You'd be surprised how truthful it is. Oh, I give you a dime on a dollar. I might give you a dollar for the 10, or 10 for the 100, or 20 for the 2. Getting my math skills are being threatened. Or 30 for the 3, or 40 for the 4, or 50 for the 5, 60 for the 6. Oh, whoa, but 1,000 is 100 on 1,000? That just sounds a lot more than $1 on the 10. Yes, more. It's amazing how I wasn't going to talk about tithing, but I guess y'all need it. That you see, it's real simple. Daddy, when I gave my heart back to Christ, Daddy did 2 things. He handed me a Bible. He said, read it, and you'll be fine. Obey it, and you'll really be fine. Give 10% of your income, and you'll never want for nothing. And see, I know sometimes some of you need to have this. It's 10 cents on a dollar. Say 10 cents on a dollar. It's 20 cents on $2. It's $10 on $100. Be careful. Beware when you have plenty, because that's when people tend to forget where they came from. You heard, when you're going up the ladder, the same rungs that you go up on, the same rungs you're coming down on. So you better be careful. A few years ago, I was going to clean out my gutters. So I got a ladder, and Barbara was there, and she held the ladder, and I went up and had my blower up there, and I was blowing it off. Well, she left. And she left. That same ladder that I came up on was the same ladder that was there, but it just looked a little different with nobody hanging on to it. Thank God for cell phones. I called Will. I said, Will, what are you doing? He said, well, I forgot what he was doing. I said, can you come to my house? He said, not right now. He said, it'll be probably about an hour. I said, well, I'm sitting on top of the house. I'll be here when you get here. But you know what? Instead of being ungrateful, I started being grateful that somebody's coming. And I was sitting there, and you know what? I started looking out across the neighborhood, and I went, it really looks nice from up here. I looked at the lake behind my house, and I went, that's pretty. This is really nice. See, in all things, wherever you are, you can be grateful and thankful. I don't know what that has to do. Somebody needed that. I don't know what you needed that for, but you needed it for something. Praise team be coming back up. I'm thankful for what he's done. Thankful through. David, you and your wife stood up here Wednesday night and you said you're thankful through. You're thankful for what you've been through. Thankful in because I'm not going to forget, Lord, where I came from, where you brought me. Hardly a day go by I don't pull in my driveway and thank God for what I have. Thank Him in my prosperity. Because the same little sixth grader who made all F's, who passed every year by the skin of his chinny chin chin, who by the end of every school year, teachers had to have a conference with mom and dad thinking whether or not we should send him up or keep him back. Not once every few years. Mike was there with me. Same grades. He needs to be grateful and thankful too. He needs to be so grateful. And when God called me to preach, I couldn't pronounce a whole lot of words. Still can't sometimes. But when I think about where I came from, I think about what God's done for me, through me, and in me. I can't help to be thankful. But there's one more stage of Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for, I'm thankful through, I'm thankful in. But the fourth stage, Ralph, is I become thankful. In Him we live and we move and we have our being. Ralph, I wondered what become meant. And I looked it up in the Hebrew and in the Greek. And if you go look in a concordance, you'll see the word become. Man, there's a pages of become or becometh. And you guys ready for this? You ready? When you become, this is what it means. I love this. You stay over. I'll tell you what that means in a minute. You stay over. It's not a one-night stand. Whew, it's deep. Woman doesn't wake up and he's not there. He didn't just come to get satisfied and leave. He came to stay. They stay over. Means to remain in. Remain in. Whew. Means to abide in. You get to the place where you're no longer thankful for, or thankful through, or thankful in. You are Thanksgiving. You become a big old thankful, grateful, appreciative, praise being. You emanate. You have flashes of thankfulness that just leaps from your being. It's finally at a place where this really can be. It's when you get to the place in marriage that you better say thank you at a certain stage, But it can get to a stage where you just emanate thankfulness and gratitude. And they just look at you and they know you're grateful. They look at you and they know you're thankful. They look at you and you just emanating gratitude and thanksgiving, because when you got up in the morning, you started thanking the Lord for the day. At noonday, you didn't forget to thank Him again. And that afternoon, you didn't forget to keep thanking Him, because you know He'll never leave you nor forsake you, but He'll go with you even to the end. And I'm not just thankful for and thankful through and thankful in. I am thanksgiving. I have become what I have become. It's when you finally go through kindergarten and you go through middle school and you go through high school and you've been to all of that, then you get to college, and when you graduate from college, you have become everything that you had worked toward to all your life. Now you have become it, and that's where He wants to bring every single person here. But you got to begin with the thank you, Lord, and you got to go, I'm going to make it through, and you got to say, I'm in it, He's blessed me and I'm thankful. But then you got to say, I am thankful. I am. Don't, Lord, I know He's going to rise on the last day. I am the resurrection and the life. I am who I am. Now I have become it. Woo. 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 In Him we live and we move. We have our being. Being means I exist with joy and abundance and thanksgiving and praise. I have it. So let's stand.
You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you are hope, you restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only.
comes, and some of you here, and you're in that thankful for stage. And we all go back and forth through it. You should. I said the other week, I'm every age I've ever been. So every now and then I need to be a kid and just say, thank you, Lord, for what you've done for me. There's a lot of you here, several of you here that's in the end stage. You have been blessed. You have been blessed tremendously. And it's that danger stage. It's the beware stage. It's the I don't want to forget who changed my diapers, who took me to school, who fed me, who gave me tutors, who did anything and everything they could do to help me get through life. And you're in that stage. Right now, you need to just ask the Lord to forgive you that you've taken that stage for granted. And you want to see, Thanksgiving's not normal. That's why you got to teach them to say it. If you don't believe it, feed a 2-year-old. See how thankful they are. They'll throw the food at you. If you're in that stage that you're in, just thank God. Just for a moment. Lord, I just thank you. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. I don't want to take you for granted. One more moment. I don't want to take you for granted one more second. I want to just say thank you. Thank you. If you read the first part of this Bible called the Old Testament, you'll see a people who constantly kept forgetting that when you become full and prosperous and have built fine homes, when your flocks and herds have become very large and your silver and your gold have multiplied, along with everything else, be careful. Don't become proud at the time and forget the Lord your God who rescued you from the slavery in the land of Egypt. Don't forget he led you through the great and terrible wilderness with its poisonous snakes and scorpions, where it was so hot and dry. He gave you water from the rock. He fed you with manna in the wilderness, food unknown to your ancestors. He did all this so you would never say to yourself, I have achieved this wealth in my own strength and energy. Remember the Lord your God. He is the one who gives you power to be successful in order to fulfill the covenant He confirmed to your ancestors. For I assure you this, and this is heavy, if you forget the Lord your God and you follow other gods, you forget to be thankful, you will certainly be destroyed. Wow. Doesn't have to be that way, though, does it? Doesn't have to be that way. Lord, just let it so permeate our whole being. There's not a one of us here that have to be reminded at times to be grateful and thankful. No, I want you to sometimes this becomes so internalized that we leave it there. I want you to look at somebody, eyeball to eyeball. I want you to look at them, and I want you to just say thank you. You just look at somebody eyeball to eyeball and say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yo, Mike, thank you for a friendship that you respect me and honor me, even though you know me better than a lot of people that here know me. And the Bible says that a prophet is without honor, saving his own country. He's saying that sometimes, saving it except for the people that's really close to him. But you have maintained an attitude toward me that I appreciate, and thank you for that. Years ago, we were crazy praising church, and we beat tambourines, we waved banners, danced, stage dived, did some crazy stuff. It was good. We may do that again. But there's also what I love about Eagles Way, that we went from a praising church to a worshiping church, more of a worshiping church. You praise him for what he does. You worship him for who he is. And there's a shift coming. There's a shift coming to Eagles Way Church. And it's going to be quick. It's going to be overwhelming. And when it does, let's just be thankful and grateful in it. Y'all care if I just obey God for about 2 minutes? Gonna do it anyway. He is the God who made the world and everything in it. Paul, standing before the council, addressed them as follows: Men of Athens, I notice you're very religious in every way. For as I was walking along, I saw your many shrines, and one of your altars had this inscription on it: to an unknown God. This God whom you worship without knowing is the one I'm telling you about. He's the one who made the world and everything in it. And since he is the Lord of heaven and earth, he doesn't live in man-made temples and human hands can't serve his needs, for he has no needs. He himself gives life and breath to everything, and he satisfies everything. From one man, he created all the nations throughout the whole earth. He decided beforehand when they should rise and fall, and he determined their boundaries. His purpose for the nations was to seek after God, perhaps feel their way toward him, find him, though he is not far from any of us. For in him we live and move and exist. As some of your own poets have said, we are his offspring. Said that to a bunch of heathens. Think about it. Said that to a bunch of heathens. Think about it.
You may be seated. Hope you have your connection card filled out and ready to go. The connection card is the way that you sign up for Rushton Hope. If you want to help serve this month, we actually need a few extra folks, because if you have been there before, Rushton Hope is across the street from Dove Down, in the same building as Dove Down is Journey Church, and Journey Church is hosting the meal that will be served, and so the Christmas meal will be provided for, and so we need additional servers that are willing to help for that. On the connection card is where you put your prayer requests, things that you might have need of, things that you want prayer for. That goes out to our prayer team each and every week, so make sure that you do that. Next Sunday at 3 o'clock is our Unplugged Christmas Children's Production. You want to make sure that you're here. If you want to bring your video camera, who knows, you can win $10,000. You never know. Turn that video in. You just don't ever know with kids. But it will be awesome. And then right after that, we have invited the 200 children that we are providing a Angel Tree gift for. They will have their Christmas party up in the youth building. Those that are a part of the Eagles Way production, we will have cookies and things in the foyer. So that will be taking place next Sunday. In the foyer now also, the ladies ministry is selling the tickets for the Return concert, January 8th. Those of you that don't know who the Return are, shame on you. Now, if you don't know who the Return are, it's a Beatles tribute band. A couple of the players of that band, are they still in Japan right now? They're still in Japan touring for the month, and so they will be back to do that concert, and so you make sure that you get your tickets for that. Seems like there was one. Oh, I want to say thank you. And Ray Goolsby would like for me to say thank you. To me, this is kind of a huge deal. There are 50 states that have Angel Tree Prison Ministry in it. Never before has any state ever served all of the needs within their state. This year, not only did Georgia do it, but the whole southeast region was able. Listen, there was gifts that came in even as of this morning and yesterday that are going to be able to be sent to make sure that all the southeast states have served every child that is in need. That's pretty amazing. And to me, what is so cool about Angel Tree is that it crosses all borders. It's not for just the economically disadvantaged. A gift is being given to a child coming from you, but you are doing it for an incarcerated parent that can't give that child love. And so you're an extension of God's love to that child. And that's pretty amazing. So thank you for the hard work that you have done and put towards that. And it's pretty cool. Don't miss being here next week. Don't miss the 20th either. Some special things taking place on the 20th at our Christmas service. So ushers will be coming, receiving our morning. I took a little more time with that because I wanted you to receive the impact, to have time to fill out your connection card, to sign up for some of those things. So when they get all the way to the front, you can just go ahead and turn and go back out. And once the offering bucket is past you, if you want to stand, we're going to end in a worship song.
I stand before you, awed by your majesty. Covered by